we'd like to welcome you
to a little place that we think is really cool.
Let's talk about the music, let's have a laugh.
You already know what it is.
It's the Plug
Podcast. It's the Plug Podcast.
It's the Plug Podcast.
You already know who it is. So why are we still singing this? Let's get on with the Plug Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Plug Podcast featuring what? Podcast or whatever. If you didn't know who it was, I am Josh Taylor.
And I am Diego Barreza.
And we are here with guest singular. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Jack Nigro.
Woo!
Thank you.
Welcome.
I love that intro.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no.
I hope I was in key.
I think you were.
I think you're the only
Music-wise.
person who's like gone, I'm going to sing it. And
It felt weird not to.
it was pretty awesome. Like,
A lot
it's
of
like
people just go, it's the Plug.
I never really thought of like the melody contouring like that or anything like that. So I honestly respect.
I
Thank you.
think Deucey Monks might have attempted it. but
Yeah,
I don't know if
maybe.
it went that well.
Yeah, the like honestly like the first person to come on here who's like
Not a
main
singer?
yeah the main thing is not like being a muso or anything like that, and it's like you're the only one that's sung so far.
That's what I was thinking. You've had great singers on here too.
Yeah. And no. But and now we have you.
Should we play the first little segment? song?
Yes. Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
It's a question, actually. It's a song in the form of a question. Or a question in the form of a song.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Okay.
What would you like to plug about yourself? Yeah.
What would I like to plug about myself?
Perfect.
Hell
You picked
yeah.
it up.
You nailed it.
You're the first person I didn't have to like walk along.
Oh,
Like,
sweet. Music-related plug or life or
life,
Everything,
music,
everything,
career,
Jack. What
your pets,
what do you do?
your history,
what do I
your
do?
dark past.
Yes. No, I so my main thing is I am a producer, so I record, mix, master, and have been doing that for about the last 10 years. So
10 years?
that's
Wow.
yeah, about my main thing.
Do you have like a calendar date for like this is a decade here, that this date will be a decade?
I remember specifically, if I count back to a holiday I went on from Fiji, I came back, one of the first things I did was start recording at the Grove and started
cool.
working there. So I can always know that holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will be February next year will be 10 years. for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yes.
that was your like first gig at the Grove, kind of.
Yeah, I came
Cool.
in and I was interning. The owner just bought it. And the first ever session I didn't really do anything. Like I was doing alcohol runs and making coffees. But
interning.
was Daniel Johns.
Oh.
And Luke's still doing that dream stuff.
Jeez.
Wow, I should not have been in that room, but I actually got to be in, which was very lucky.
Wow. Yeah.
So
that must have been
crazy.
terrifying.
it was terrifying.
That must have been awful.
I had no idea what I was doing, but it was lovely. They were really lovely.
No,
Yeah,
Which
okay.
was
I can see why you
fantastic.
spend most of your time getting beer in that.
No comment.
No comment. Yeah, I will make all the spicy like takes, and you can
Just,
choose.
yeah,
to,
you can just sit over there and say no comment.
yeah, you can choose to abstain from making any sort of.
I'll plead the fifth.
yeah,
Not say
plead the
anything
fifth. Plead the
at
fifth. That's exactly right. So you've been, I guess, like you were an intern first of all, but like what kicked you off to make you be like, what if I like recorded people's music? You know, what was the thing that made you sort of push yourself to do that, especially at the Grove? You know.
Yeah, well, fortunately for a start at the Grove, I lived really close to it, which was super lucky.
Always helps.
Yes, absolutely. So I was in a band through high school, played a lot of like hard rock metal kind of stuff,
Nice.
and was always obsessed with layering and recording. Had like a little portable recorder myself, would just be obsessed with like layering harmonies, building things up. And then had a friend that did one of the courses at JMC. And I even remember when I was about 16, I'd go to those careers days looking for like, studio stuffs, big desks.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
is that a thing? And it just wasn't yet when I was still at school.
True.
Yeah.
A couple years later, that JMC SAE really started to push forward.
Yeah.
And I heard about it. I'm like, oh my God, that's a job.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I instantly signed up, did the degree. And I remember being on that holiday and I was reading a Metallica book and they were talking about all the studio stuff. And I was just so excited.
Right.
As soon as I came back, applied for an internship at the Grove.
Great.
So sick.
And right at that point, luckily, the new owner had roughly bought it. So he was quite fresh building a new team. A few months later, I sort of came in as well.
So you were part of the part of the founding,
OG.
the founding sort
Of when,
Yeah,
Scott.
Founding
of that.
member of
Yes.
the
of
Grove.
that purchase.
So I was super lucky. And that's sort of where I got started
Wow.
there.
Awesome.
Yes.
So it just, sometimes it just works out well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes everything just works out for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's exciting. No, so like, who's some of like the most notable like acts you've worked with over the years?
Yeah, I guess should
I don't want to say like favorite because I
Name
feel like
drop,
it's
I guess.
I feel like it's rude to be like this guy's my favorite.
I'd say Slim Jims would definitely be one of my favorites.
Nice.
Yeah.
You saying before you need to get the plug in quick.
Now, we just finished an EP and I love their stuff too. And
Yeah.
they're really easy to work with and
Hell yeah.
lovely guys. And hopefully that EP goes really well because I had a blast making it. And
It is out.
Yeah, it's
now.
out. Yeah,
It's out.
It came out like last
week, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, like 2 weeks ago because it came out the night we recorded the podcast. Remember?
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
They were like, we got a like EP coming out. We're like,
Oh, but
when?
by the time
Tonight?
this is by the time this
Oh
is
yeah. Like 4 weeks ago. It was like a month ago.
Can't be
now.
bothered figuring
Some of the
it out.
singles are dropped a little earlier
Yeah,
and then
of course,
combined with some
yeah,
new songs.
yeah. It's, and then of course it all sounds great. I listened to it the day it
Thank
came
you.
out. Yes, it sounds
All we're
good.
saying is go listen to that.
Hey, what do you know? 10 years of experience adds up.
It does. No, I was really lucky. I was even saying this to some of my students today about interning and assisting and how it can be really important because at an early age, I got to be involved in sessions that were way above the degree I should have been in. So, you know, working under guys like Scott Horscroft, who owns The Grove and that. So early on, I got to be in albums with I did some, got to assist on Sarah Blasco,
Wow.
some Violent Soho. Bloody Lovely by DZs was one of the first ones I got to be involved in.
Cool.
The Daniel John stuff as well. And then that sort of progresses more into where you kind of get your engineering roles where you're actually the lead engineer under a producer.
Right.
I think one of the first ones I got to do, which was a big step up, was the DMA's record, the For Now one.
Awesome.
Wow.
Did that under Kim Moyes. He produced that. He's
Jeez.
one half of the presets.
Again, must have been terrifying. Oh,
That
Kim
was-
from the priest. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all coming.
And we all did that to tape as well.
Oh, what?
And I hadn't done a lot of tape stuff yet. I'd
That's
done
so
a little
sick.
bit.
Jesus.
And so
That must have
most of
been-
that record was to tape.
That must have been way scary.
It was.
Yeah.
It was way scarier.
Is that like was that your first big venture into like tape recording?
Yeah, that one
wow.
was.
What a start.
And it's just scary because if you stuff up, it's not like you can't Command Z it and redo it. It's like, I'm sorry, I recorded over that. And it's just like, it's like,
Did you have any big like hiccups?
No, definitely not big ones. I probably had minor ones, but it would have been in terms of like sometimes if I even do a minor fuck up now on the computer, I just computer stuffed up. Just go again. So if you ever hear me do that on a session,
You know the truth. It's been
the
revealed.
computer probably didn't fuck up. I
That's
probably
so
undid
funny.
something when I shouldn't have. I'm like,
I
computer
am
had a
now
moment.
recalling all the times you said to me.
I've definitely done that a few times.
Yeah. Okay,
Blame
that's good to
technology.
know.
It's always the easiest thing to do. You know?
Easily the
Yes.
like
Oh, it didn't work. Sorry, guys.
sorry
Sorry, yeah.
sorry hard
It's the
drive's
computer.
gone out. yeah
Yeah, sorry.
cameras
Just go with the
We
voice.
almost had a camera emergency, but we worked it out.
yeah well Maddie
There's too much fire.
Yeah,
at the
I kind
table.
of sat here and was like, oh, damn. And then it worked itself out.
oh jeez
But yeah, no, awesome. Who's like some of the artists that like have recorded at the Grove or something like that, and you just missed out? You didn't get to record with them, and you're like, damn it,
Yeah.
I wish.
I was pretty lucky. Like I was there full time managing it for about 7 years. So yeah, I got to do
Wow.
the Skeg stuff, DMAs. When Soho came in, that was like one of the first times I really fangirled. I was a big fan of, it was after Waco, so I'd already heard Waco and Covered in Chrome, and that was a big one. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, and I did get to be on that record.
Cool.
Them and June Rats were two ones I was really excited I got to be involved in. And then when I stopped managing and went freelance and had kind of moved on from assisting when I more was just lead producing by that point, I remember Stickies came in and I was like, oh no, I just missed it. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But like the history of the place, like before me, well before me for years, was like, Silverchair did records there.
Yeah.
The Whitlams, Casey Chambers, Delta Goodrum,
Crazy.
like Eskimo Joe did that Black Fingernails Red Wine record there.
Yeah.
Sick.
The place is unreal for its history.
Yeah.
Good just list of acts, you know what I mean? Like,
Great.
Speaking of the Grove, there is a super tummy story I've heard about the Grove.
whoa, what?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was in America, and wasn't there a COVID outbreak on your session?
Yeah, so like, the first, like, this is a while ago. It was like the beginning of March 2020, so like around when the pandemic
This is
was
the
happening.
one of the worst days of my life.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. So
I think
like,
Owen was on the session.
Owen was doing
Yeah.
it with us. We were like super hyped.
We,
Like,
we
let's
had
get-
a bad day. Owen had the worst. Day. He was freaking out, man.
and we get there, and our bass player Brock, his I think it was like nephew or something like that. It was like, oh yeah,
Like
he's got this.
Godbrother or something.
He's got this disease called COVID or something like that.
Yeah.
Weird. And then like, well,
It was super early days when that was really
Yeah.
scary.
So like, it was probably like just a few days before like we went into hard lockdown, and at that point it was like, like we'd all heard of COVID, but like, oh yeah, this is
It was a big scary thing at the time.
And then like, I think it was a real big like, shock, because we're like, oh shit, like we might actually be in trouble here.
Yep.
And so we like deep cleaned the entire studio.
Oh.
Like Brock just left straight away because we're like, nah, not happening.
It was my perspective on this situation is a little bit different, because what happened to me is like I did my takes and then Brock did his takes, and it was after that he got that message. But because I had already done my takes, I went to sleep. It was like,
You were like asleep.
2:00 in the afternoon, maybe earlier.
Great time for a
and
sleep.
I went and I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Like I had a big nap.
I'm out.
And like Brock woke me up and he was like, hey man, you got to take me to the station. And I'm like, haha,
yeah,
very
'cause
funny.
you're the only one that hadn't like had
I
beers.
straight up thought he was joking. I was like, haha, very funny. It was like, yeah, nah, I think I've been in contact with someone that's COVID. And I was like, haha, very funny. He's like,
Nice.
no, dude, seriously,
I'm
like,
upset.
no, dude,
That's
seriously,
so
you got to
funny.
take me to the station. I was like, oh.
So yeah, then we had to like reschedule and come back like.
Yeah.
After
And we had a
COVID.
blast when we came back.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
was
good
good.
place.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
When it first hit, I was in there with a band, Club Camel from down by
yeah.
Long Way.
Yep.
And the first wave, and we were like day 3 of an 8-day EP, and we didn't know what to do. We didn't know businesses were meant to shut. Like, what was going on? The owner's just like,
It was a bit of just a shit show. Like it was like,
yeah.
we were like deep clean. We're like, is there even a point to this? Like,
Well, the owner
are we
was
all
just
just
like-
infected? Like, like
He was like, because I live really close to there. He's like, go home, grab your stuff, go get some shopping, come back, and then no one leaves, because we didn't want people coming and going. 'Cause
Yeah.
every time you go somewhere,
Exactly.
you know, and we just locked in for like the other 5 or 6 days. So that was cool.
that would have been awesome.
That
like,
was fine.
Just to be like, yeah,
That
we're
kinda-
isolating.
Yeah, that
That was
seems
cool.
like we were going to pretty much do this anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was
Exactly.
fine.
Not
Yeah,
having
it was
the
a bit different
choice.
for us. We were only there for like 2-3 days or
Yeah,
something.
it
So
was
it was
like-
like the first day of like, I think it was only 2 days.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, let's just leave.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
yeah,
remember
no,
that story.
it was like a big shame because we were all so excited
God.
to record.
That hurt.
Hey,
That
but we got
hurt
to
me.
do it again, and it was really
Exactly.
good.
So
Yeah.
let's go back a second time. Know what
Exactly.
you're in for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We really, honestly, we got like more out of our money than anyone else did. Because we got that extra
You got to
bonus
go back.
day where we
Yeah.
almost all got COVID. I'm going to interrupt quickly because we're going to do something that I mentioned before.
Okay.
Now.
The lightning round.
That's
yes.
now.
Oh, I'm
that is
a bit
now.
nervous about
So
the
when
lightning
when
round.
the D6 says 2, 1 and 2 count as segment 1. That's what I was trying to explain to you.
I
I was trying to explain
Okay.
this to you, and I was like, I thought you had it. But
So what do I
just-
got to do?
You have
So-
to answer questions
Basically,
Okay, I can
as
do that.
fast as you can.
we're gonna
shit.
ask you a bunch of random questions that are super silly. Sometimes they're just normal questions.
Are they even music related or just
No,
life?
Could be
general.
about anything,
Could be
and
okay.
you got a minute essentially to answer as many as you can. Diego's gonna get the music up.
As long as it's not about the last episode of Stranger Things, because I haven't watched that yet. So
No, there's no spoilers involved in
I will
the
not
lightning
spoil
round.
Stranger
Yeah.
Things.
Name the one surviving character of the show. No.
Well, spoilers. So yeah, basically, and we'll probably go switch.
Yeah, so we'll
Okay.
alternate asking you the questions. There's only one of you, so you can't alternate between.
Get that
Yep.
song started. So we got some music for the background as well.
Yes.
It's a bit like louder than everything else. I'm just going to quickly just minute. Oops. That'll do. Welcome to the lightning round,
This
Jack.
is the
You're in.
lightning round. You got a minute to answer
My
as
heart's
many questions as you can. Can you get the timer up? Actually,
Yep.
Diego's got a minute to get the timer up.
Who made that music?
We did.
Fuck yes.
All right, ready? Start it.
Ready, set, go.
All right. If your name was James, would you go by it, Jim, Jimmy, Jimbo, or Jamie?
Jimmy.
Nice.
Drop a beat.
Nice. What's the Roman numeral for 1 million?
1 million.
Have you ever been to Egypt?
I've not been to XXX. That's I don't know.
What element would you bend if given the option?
Oh, I don't know.
Favorite element on the periodic table?
Kryptonite.
Favorite Ween?
No, it's not one.
Favorite Ween album?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Star or angel on top of your Christmas tree?
Angel.
Are there more doors or wheels?
Wheels.
Sorry, what was the question?
I think more doors than wheels.
Who's a good kitty?
Me.
Have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Chicken.
Trebuchet or catapult?
Catapult.
Fuck the Beatles?
No.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Elon Musk invites you on a mission to Mars. Do you accept?
Yes.
Pub? Question mark?
Now?
Sure.
Purple grapes or green grapes?
Green.
That's it.
Not bad at all.
Oh, wow.
Who's a good kitty? Me.
That's like almost everybody's answered me.
I'm a good kitty.
Have they?
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
good.
almost
That was good.
There was only one I didn't know. What?
Roman numeral for 1 million.
Yes, what was that?
What
I
is it?
don't actually know.
It's
Let me
not
have a
M.
look.
It's not M, is it?
M is
surely,
a
surely
thousand,
not.
is it? Oh, my heart's
yeah,
pumping.
no,
Is there
no,
another,
M is
does
it.
another
It's
one of those
intense.
come in, or do I not
No,
know?
that's it.
That's
Okay.
it. That's it.
You
That's
can-
it
you
for
can
the
chill.
That's it for the whole podcast now.
It sucks for the people who have to go through that, like the last minute of the last segment, because they got that waiting for the
The
entire
anticipation.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So you got it out.
Thank you for bringing that in premature.
No, that's all right. It's completely random. So think random. The Roman numeral for 1 million is MM.
Oh, it was
So
close.
1,000 times 1,000, I guess.
Mm. Oh, yes. 1,000 thousands, yes.
Yeah, 1,000 thousands.
Oh, wait, no, it's not.
Oh,
Okay.
Hold on.
I like your
let me
theory,
open this.
Diego.
I'm confused. No, it is. It's just 1 M.
What's that?
I'm confused.
I was going to say that. That's okay.
Yeah, nah, fuck it, whatever. It doesn't matter. Jack.
I'm going to
You know
go
I'm a
M,
good kitty,
and
that's
that's
all
my
that
final
matters.
answer.
Yeah, Jack's a good kitty. That's all that matters. We don't know the Roman numeral for a
Me.
million, but Jack is a good kitty.
But back to the interview.
Okay, yeah.
Where were we? We're talking about
COVID.
Yeah,
the
COVID.
grow.
Yeah, super time story.
So, obviously, you mentioned that you were doing freelance
Freelance
stuff after
now, yeah.
your grow
Yeah.
stuff. So, what's that entailed thus far?
Yeah, so if you're talking about like serendipity or whatever, so I went freelance. So freelance basically means I work for myself,
Yes.
and then I still work at the Grove. I still teach there. I still hire the studio. It's still like my favorite place to be.
Yes.
But I'm not employed by there anymore. So I completely work for myself. I went freelance on a Friday. I remember going to the June Rat show at the Big Top at Luna Park with Toddy, Dear Seattle and stuff. That
Yes.
was a Saturday. It was
Yeah.
a really big show.
2018.
2020, start of
Okay.
2020.
Never mind.
That Monday, everything COVID hit. And I've gone, oh my God,
Wow.
I've just left a salary. I'm freelance in a music industry. Oh my God. Luckily, really luckily, and it's very unfortunate for my friends more on the live sound stuff, what were a lot of bands doing because they weren't touring,
Yeah.
they were recording. So it was actually the busiest, fortunately for me, and even though I couldn't work at times, it was
still-
actually really busy.
That's
'cause
wild.
It kept
bands
up.
were making music.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Who were some of the bands you worked with over like the lockdown periods?
The Shang and I definitely did some stuff in
cool.
that time.
Yep.
Cool.
It was a weird, like, what do we do?
Yeah, we had to get like permits as well because
Whoa.
we were traveling for work, so we had to get permits
Yeah,
to
interesting.
travel. Well, I had to because I was leaving the Central Coast to go into Sydney.
Yeah, gotcha.
And sometimes I just blankly couldn't go. So that was really tough because I started renting a studio in Coogee.
Mm.
So that made that really tricky.
Rest in peace. That studio.
Yes, I know.
What happened to the studio?
It's still there. I've moved on. So I've just bought a place on the coast. I'm building my own studio as well. So that's going to start in a couple of weeks. So
That's awesome.
that's really exciting.
Just
haven't-
casually.
Yeah, haven't officially announced it, and but I have got the plan done and the building's
Consider
ready
it
to go.
officially announced.
It's now officially
Announced on the podcast.
Yeah, the Shang, we did some stuff. Did a Crocodilus have an album coming out? We
cool.
did through that time. Which was pretty exciting.
Wow.
Vanilla Gorilla, that was a lot of time through then too.
Yeah, I remember
It was around the
seeing
same
them a bunch.
time as the Shang as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Having
that
7
rings a
boys
bell.
in that Coogee studio was pretty tight.
Jeez.
That was fun. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes. So being freelance through then, but fortunately it is, it's really great to see now that post that lockdown and everything happening, it feels like just people are more desperate than ever to get to shows.
Yeah,
People have
exactly.
got all this great music. They've been writing, they've been depressed,
Absolutely.
they've been upset and
Yeah.
anxious. And I hope, and it feels it's going that way, that this next, couple of years out of that is just going to boom.
Well,
Yeah, true.
This year, like music-wise, has been
I think the last 2 years have been
the last 2 years
incredible.
have been insane for music. Like incredible, just music coming out every week. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
so sick.
It's insane.
And some of these bands, like without saying which bands that I know that have just dropped albums, we recorded some of those. Like a band dropped an album a couple of weeks ago, a fairly large band. They've been sitting on that album for over 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
They recorded it right as there was COVID hit, and then you could kind of get back into things, and then hit again, they couldn't tour it. They've been holding that for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then in that time they're writing. So now
Now
They
there's
just
even
got, like,
more to
so much
go.
more
there's
stuff to
more
do.
to go.
Yeah,
So
jeez.
because the labels are like, we're not going to release this. You can't tour the thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
What's the point of releasing it?
Yeah. So they won't. Yeah.
Got to push it back. Got to make that money.
That's right.
you know?
So, so I hope that's where things are heading. It feels like it is.
Yeah, it sort of feels like the music industry somehow actually came out stronger.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah.
It's like it was a rough period, but it's like we've come out the other end feeling, I think, rejuvenated,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like a bit of a reset, It's like, oh, we can start again. And now we've had like all this time to just, think and prepare and
Plan. Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, no, it's exciting.
Yes.
All right, I have a big question actually. So who do you think's like the artists that you've been working with recently that everybody needs to keep an eye out for because they're going to be like
Whoa.
pretty big?
It's like
soon?
maybe someone hasn't blown up yet, but someone who I'm
you
really
feel like
excited about.
they're gonna get there somehow.
Well, good question.
I'm full of them.
Good
It's
question.
my job.
There's plenty that come to mind. I just want to be really specific
No,
before I think about it. Give me a sec.
You're like, I've gotta rank them,
I'll think of an artist and I'll think of a band
Cool.
too, because I get to work with both.
Yeah, of course.
There's a young artist from the South Coast, Bronte Alva.
Oh, cool.
She's really
heard of
cool.
that name,
She's
for
only dropped
sure.
one track so far. There's another one we've done and a third one she's working on, I believe.
Okay.
She writes really quirky, really catchy lyrics. Like we did this song called Eve's Lips. Got a little bit of, I think got some like Declan Gabe to spin and stuff, and it
Cool.
went well. And there was like a line in the song when I first heard the demo, because I'd never heard her before, and got says like, oh, it's my friend's friend. And you get sent that stuff
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time. And sometimes you have to be a bit picky with who
Yeah,
you work
of course.
with. And there was this line and it was like, I remember the first time we got sushi, it was a bit shit, but at least I knew I had good company. But it was just so
just worked
visual.
well,
And I was like,
yeah.
whoa. And the way
Yeah.
she sung it was so clever. So she, I think, is one to keep an eye on.
Awesome.
Bronte Alva.
She's touring with the Terrys at the moment,
Oh, sick.
which is a really good first step for
That
her
might
as well.
be. That might be what.
And
Yeah.
a band. There's a few, so I just want to try and think of one I'm really excited
No, that's
about.
all right. Take your time.
Here's one. I really like, again, like South Coast based.
South Coast does not.
South Coast does not stop.
They do not
They're doing good.
A female fronted and a guy fronted band. If I can think of two, I think Salt are doing really
Yeah,
cool stuff
Salt,
down
yeah.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Totally.
got a really good aesthetic and they write really empowering.
That's the two twins, right?
The two twins,
Yeah,
yeah, that
sweet.
stuff's
I mean,
really cool.
Obviously, too.
They got a couple of new singles coming out, and they haven't blown up yet and taken that next step. But I think they're one that really
coming
could.
up. It's coming up.
And another track I got really excited about recently, just did a new Debbie's track.
Debbie's,
cool.
yes. of
Yeah,
course,
it's called
yeah.
The Meaning of Love, and their past stuff was a bit more surf, and now they've gone a bit more down the line, heavy
Cool.
pop
Cool.
punk,
Hell yeah.
Ah, sick.
and it's kind of got that Sly Withersy, but they're really tapping into that more that American pop punk, but with an Aussie edge to it. And
Great.
I like the new angle they're
Yeah,
pushing for. It's
cool.
just separating with. I think there's a lot of bands at the moment that are doing that surf rock
Yeah.
thing post, say,
Of course.
Skeggs, Ocean Alley and stuff. And it's really, this is actually kind of an interesting chat, and I'd be keen to hear your thoughts. But like,
Sure.
in Aussie music right now, there's a massive surf rock culture. So we're talking,
So true.
what Skeggs started, Ocean Alley,
Sticky Fingers.
Stickies, and then Stickies keep evolving, doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so amazing.
Yeah.
And it's and June Rats as well, that grungy surf rock thing.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see that's what's really popular right now.
Yes.
And I think that's awesome. But I wonder, these things go in cycles. Like when I first started, that stuff wasn't,
Nah.
Big
yet.
yeah.
it was more like your two-door cinema club, Jungle Giantsy stuff. Now
Yeah.
it's turned to this surf rocky thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's next.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And
interesting.
that's what I'm interested in.
It feels like I'm saying like maybe I feel like it's like kind of a rise for like pop at the moment is
Yeah.
what seems to be like coming around the bend for me at least. I'm finding it like not just Australian artists, but like just worldwide, like stuff from overseas. Like my favorite stuff that's coming out right now is just like pop music, you know,
yeah.
like simplistic, like
beautiful melody,
melody,
simple
straightforward, great production. Like
it's like it just keeps evolving. So and it's like doing it so quickly. You know what I mean? Like pop music is just growing and growing and just getting better and better and better.
And pop is never. That's the thing with pop. Like surf rock is always surf rock, but pop now is not pop. A couple of years ago, pop's just what's popular.
Yeah. So I guess like in terms of like something that keeps like has come up a few times now in like Australian music that I'm saying is like the sort of like the 80s sort of
for sure,
like your John Lurie's and your Johnny Hunters and that sort of stuff.
Oh, like the kind of
Johnny
like
Hunter's
post-punky.
cool.
Yeah, like
I'd love to work with them in case they're listening. I love those guys.
We'll get word out.
Yeah.
All right, cool, great.
Awesome.
I've been a big fan too of like, and one other band I'd love to give a shout out to that I really love is Sputnik Sweetheart as well.
Cool.
Big fan of theirs, and they're just starting to finally get a bit of attention. They had good momentum going into COVID, and COVID stopped a lot of bands. And
they seem to be picking it back up though.
Yeah, and I love working with them, and they're kind of tapping into that darker Brit rock, like that Wolf Alice kind of thing.
Yeah, sick.
And I love that kind of stuff too.
That's
and
awesome.
It's just good experimental, edgy indie rock. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we usually end segments out by saying if there's anything else you're a part of that you want to plug, now's the time. Even though we kind of just did that for like the last 5 minutes, but
yeah.
But is there anything else that you specifically do that you like want to shout out about yourself, perchance?
It's always nice to actually be asked that opportunity. I think the studio build for me is what I'm really excited for.
Awesome.
Got a good partner, which we've done that together. It's going to be a good, pretty big residential space as well. So for bands, a lot of my clients are South Coast, Wollongong, Sydney, Newey. So I'm really excited for that. That'll be ready towards the end of the year, and I'll announce that. And two, I also teach at the Grove at the Academy.
Yeah, sick.
They've got an awesome academy there, really good teachers. But I love teaching there. The classes are small, it's intimate setting, and love being a part of the Grove and the teaching.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it's
a good family. You know?
Yeah,
it is.
It
yeah,
seems like a great place to learn.
And heaps of great students come out of there that are also just in artisan bands as well.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, they're probably two things I'm just super excited and happy to be going on in my life right now.
We love to hear it. All right, we got to wrap this segment up. It's coming on. Yeah.
Do I have them on my?
Maybe. I don't know. But it doesn't really matter anyway because it's going to fade to black and then it's going to play Jack Hawley's songs that he's done in between. No, there you go. You got them there.
I don't know what we're up to there.
Oh, it's all right. You can just do a random one.
15. Take us out, Jack.
Hello. It is us again.
Welcome back. We never know.
It's never good to like come back.
It's never
in.
good.
It's never good. It's just like, how do we do it?
I'm thinking we should start. Maybe we should start taking suggestions.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you should come up with the content for us.
For like how to come back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do something funny.
You could do like a I'm back from The Shining. And
I'm
do like,
back.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Or you could just go really awkward and just purposely go really awkward, like, hey, something like that. I don't know.
Hey.
In the first one, we just stared the camera down for like an hour.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was pretty funny.
Maybe we should. No, that's funny.
So yeah, we're back. Segment 2. Diego, what are we doing in segment 2?
We're asking another question in the form. I'm just gonna do it.
What
album are you plugging today? Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Hell
Made
yeah.
entirely with one drum kit in Logic.
Yeah. The way we did all the songs, a bit of behind the screen, you know. We essentially had all the tracks lined up, like all the different like settings for like different like the drum kit, the bass, and we literally just like recorded every song like with this exact same settings,
Just one project.
and then like
It's efficient.
and then automated everything so it just like, you know, we could change levels and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a mess of a session, but we got lots of good segment songs out of it.
And they're consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
I just did an album for the first time ever, and I wasn't mixing it. It was getting sent overseas, and we did the entire album in one session in the end. So we tracked every song separately, but we had to condense it to one monster session.
That's what
to send to mix.
Dylan's doing with my album.
It's hectic.
He puts it all in one session, and then he takes it all out and like puts them into individual sessions to like mix.
Oh, he's doing it that way. Yes. Yeah. It's
Effectively doing what you're doing, but
in reverse.
in one seat. In one seat, not overseas. No.
Brave man.
Yeah.
Brave man.
He's
Brave
brave.
man.
That's
He's a good guy.
He's a
Yeah,
big, strong,
good
brave
guy.
boy. That's for sure.
But yeah, what album are you plugging today, Jack?
We are doing Glow On by Turnstile.
Not the Glow
Not
by
the Glow
DMAs.
by DMAs.
DMAs.
Also a great record.
Great
Plugged
record.
by the
It's-
Shang on
it's
the
already
Shang
been
episode.
plugged.
Fun
Yes.
fact.
Also
Nah.
recorded at the Grove, some of that
There you
by
go.
Scott
Yeah.
Horscroft. Yeah.
Wow. It's all
All these
happening.
plugs.
it's all in the family.
It
It's
is.
all in the family. Yes, the Glow.
Just me chucking myself
Glow
in with
on.
DMAs.
The Glow
there.
on.
Glow on.
Glow on, not the glow on.
Yeah.
Just glow on. By
Just glow.
Turnstile.
Yes.
Okay, so real quick,
Opening remark.
my opening remark is I don't know where Turnstile are from, and I'd like to take a stab.
Go.
Canada.
No, Baltimore. So I
Yes.
mean, you were up like the North was like North America was close. Like,
Yes.
and Baltimore was like almost Canada.
They sound so Canadian.
I thought Canada too before I actually did a bit of research as well.
I thought I had it. I
Yeah.
really thought I was like, these guys have to be Canadian.
I always put them in the same category as like we were talking about before, like Pup.
Yeah.
And that is that Canadian punk kind of thing.
for
So,
sure. Yeah, Pup are very like Canadian. Anyway,
they are very
Canadian.
back
so
on
many good
Turnstile.
Canadian
So opening remarks for you, Jack. Why did you pick this album to plug? Do you reckon?
I reckon I picked it to plug because it was the first album in a while that I heard, and the combination of the hardcore punk, which is so obvious through the record,
Yes.
and then the elements of like production on a hip hop level and the beat making and the sound
so true.
aesthetic sound design. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is super fresh.
It is like
And that's why I love it.
I think that was like one of my first thoughts listening to it as well. I was like, it all sounds so kind of like straightforward, you know?
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like there's any bullshit about the production. It's just like
no
big
bullshit.
distorted guitar riff, huge drums. Like it's very clean, I guess you could say. Like
Yeah.
it just feels like schmick, you know what I mean?
Like talking about, keeping it within the family, it feels like it was recorded in one session.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like like the sounds are so like the atmosphere is so incredibly consistent.
And I think
throughout
that's
the
what makes
album.
it stand out as opposed to like your Pups and like what's another big like kind of similar band of the style. I
In
don't
that
know.
kind of world.
Yeah.
I think in an Aussie context, who else would be in sort of that hardcore punk kind of thing?
Either way, the point I'm trying to make is that
It's fresh.
it all feels very like dirty and like like super like
It's tough.
noisy and
It's
like
tough.
messy.
I like that
Whereas
it's
this
tough.
just feels like it's a bit different. Like you said, the hip hop influences, and I mean like. I'll go on. This was I wasn't gonna say this till later, but like
He's going straight
whoops,
into it.
didn't mean to play a song. But there's 2 Blood Orange features on this, which is just such a cool combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't like if you know Blood Orange, he's like a like American just R&B, like hip hop, like real like alt R&B kind of like interesting like sound palettes and like stuff like that. And it's just so cool to hear them on this album, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Twice.
Well, the guy,
Twice.
and I swear I'd already researched this. This wasn't because I was coming on the show. But
Yeah.
I think actually, because I originally had a different album I was going to
Yes.
play. And I think I emailed you the day I was like already researching this.
Oh, okay.
The guy that produced this record is a hip hop producer, Mike Elizondo. He did
What a name.
In the Club, he did The Real Slim Shady.
Whoa.
He's a hip hop dude. And as soon as I heard him, like, that makes sense. That is
That's
why
awesome.
there's all the loopy production going
Yeah.
on and that the crazy kind of beats under.
Well, I was
the
gonna,
main
I was gonna
drums.
say like the new metal kind of just influence is just so
Well, yeah, it's sort
poignant.
of like
Is that a word?
yeah, poignant.
Well, one of the
Yeah,
big
that's good.
transfers he did, so he was doing all that hip hop stuff and then he did 21 Pilots,
Oh,
which is kind of that more, progressive
Yeah,
rock thing.
yeah.
And now he's in this world. And I was like, that all makes sense.
It all just clicks.
It all clicks, yeah.
it all clicked.
It all
Yes.
just clicks.
Yeah, it does have that kind of like very
Mike.
21 Pilots.
Bloody Mike.
Yeah, it's just good.
It's just good.
It's
It is just
so
damn
we
good.
say this
good.
about a lot of records that get plugged, but it's just good.
It's
And
just good.
it was like, people are like, oh, you should listen to this album. And you're like, I listen to so much stuff all the time through work alone.
yeah.
But that one, I reckon 4 people in a week were like, have you heard the new Turnstile record? I reckon you'd like it, Jack. I'm like, oh, okay. And again, I'm like, all right, I'll fucking hear it. And then I think
Yeah.
I heard Holiday. And I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
is this?
The opening few tracks, just like
Mm.
I mean, they set the scene. You know what I mean? Like
For
lights,
sure.
lights, camera, action. Here's what you're getting for the album.
Yep.
This is it.
Yeah.
And every now and then they throw in some
Well,
weird
it's
shit.
it's
like-
funny because like I was reading like I usually use this website called Rate Your Music to like kind of like genre tag stuff to like because like I'm always really interested to see what everybody else thinks this genre is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I listen to this and I'm like, it's really hard to pinpoint
I've
into
got
like
no
you know.
idea.
Yeah.
I think the big one was like, alt rock, alt metal. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like,
Yes.
which is just annoying. But one that stuck out to me was like, it was like alt metal, alt rock, hardcore punk, dream pop. And I was like, what? But you listen to like, especially the cuts with
Blood Orange
on them.
Yep.
And you're like, yeah, this kind of is just
It's heaps of cool melodies.
Well, yeah,
ambient,
heaps
really
of cool
spacey, atmospheric. And it's like such
Underwater Boy is another one on that
Yeah,
record. That's
There's like a few like, if not entire songs, but like sections on this record that like it could have been like fucking Mac DeMarco could have written it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those sort of chords and like the tones that are used for like these like guitar, not like shredding solo, but like guitar when the guitars are by themselves. Like it's so like it's sort of like got that dream poppy sort of like
yeah, it's cool. But yet it all
slacker
just
thing to
fits
it.
so well like together. I don't know how they did it. Like,
I think
Yeah.
it's just I think it's just like a huge testament to like just try it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like, I think that's all it is. The fact that it's like it feels like something that hasn't really been done to before in this sort of like such a clean cut way. Like the fact that it is just so fresh, I feel like that's the reason why.
have you have you been like a Turnstile fan for like a while?
No,
so this is like the first album you've heard of them?
first time
Same.
I'd heard them.
Cool. Yeah,
Same.
I never even listened to any of their older stuff, and it just makes me wonder like how similar it is to this. Like,
Well, the earlier stuff when I started going back was a bit more traditional, more down the line, hardcore punk.
cool.
But kind of like what we were talking about before, the thing I love about it is they're traditionally in a genre that's pretty not pigeonholed, but like
Yeah, I was
if someone says a hardcore punk band, you're like, oh yeah, I can roughly
yeah.
picture what's going on.
Yeah.
But then they're just adding something new that's fresh, and that's because of that record is the reason that people on the other side of the world are talking about them. And I think stuff like that when maybe I'm working with bands or other great producers I've seen, they're pushing those limits. It's like, all right, what do you love? And bands might like reference and talk about bands they like, but it's like, all right, what do we do here to get you out? What's going to grab attention? It's not about, you don't have to be the most brash or the most rude or heavy or fast, but it's like, okay, I'm a surf rock band, but actually a lot of us listen to hip hop. It's like, all right, why don't we try add some trap hats into surf rock track? I know that sounds stupid, but like it works.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's like probably how it went with this album. They're probably just like, oh, well, we like hip hop. Why don't we try like this kind of like, heavy metal, like hardcore punk style, but with some just hip hop production.
Totally.
And I mean, like, that's the thing that gets like, sometimes it won't work. Like that happens, but sometimes it will work super well, and it'll be like, oh wow, we just created something that's like unlike anything else that's ever been made before.
Stickies as well.
It's just sometimes it sticks,
Yeah.
and like not a lot of artists get to come out the other side of making a record like this and be like, wow, that worked.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
For every glow on, there's 10 stinkers.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Or there's 10 that sound like what Glow On could have sounded like if they didn't push those limits.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, like for every like I think back like when you say like oh it's like a hardcore thing, but it's also got like hip hop elements to it. I'm like, people have been doing that for like generally speaking for 20 years or something like that. But this is so specific to two very specific like parts of like hardcore and like to like a very specific part of hip hop as well. And like looking at the production side of things, and it's just like. The fact that it's like two very distinct sounds as well, like that, like have been used so much in the past, and then just like they're just like right on top of each other, and like that's like what you said before. There's no like, there's no bullshit in this record. There's no bullshit in this.
They've still got hardcore breakdowns, but then
absolutely
they still have those weirder ambient tracks, and I mean, not to plug another album when we're plugging one, but like, talking about like the amalgamation of albums. Like one I was thinking of was like, all right, you have Caress Your Soul by Stickies.
Yes.
And that's your traditional, that was sort of like the reggae meets surf rocky world.
Yep.
But then they come out with Land of Pleasure, which is like full blown heavy ass beats.
Yeah.
Diz is rapping and doing stuff like that. Yeah. And Land of Pleasure was probably their biggest record, or that just took them to a new stratosphere.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just an example of like a band that was here, and then they're like, "Oh, let's try this stuff." And
Yeah,
it blew
precisely.
up.
Yeah, it's like I feel like Turnstile, obviously, judging from just looking at the hardcore, like the emo elements of this, like Turnstile, obviously, in terms of that world, know what they're doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I feel like when a band sort of can say like, "Okay, we've figured this part out. Now let's do something completely different and start learning stuff again. And like
you build a foundation and then you like go, how can we change this to like, you know, keep it fresh, keep it interesting.
Like now you say the word foundation, that feels like what this record like is. It's like it's got that such a strong foundation of like the emo stuff and like the riffs and the
at the end of the day, like
all of it.
It's just like a heavy, like hardcore punk album, you know what I mean? But it's what they've done with the songwriting and like the production around it that's really like pushed it.
If you're going to listen to one track on this record that's maybe not the most obvious one, I think it's the fourth, Don't Play.
Don't Play, yeah, absolutely.
It starts with this riff, then it goes into this, like the beat is like this,
of course,
and it goes to this like, almost like a reggaeton-y kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, and then, it has like the Drake beat is what I call it.
Yeah,
like,
and then it goes to this beautiful piano thing that's like a cha-cha, like dun dun, like this weird, I don't know what mode it's in.
Yeah.
But then in the middle of that song, there's one of the heaviest breakdowns on the record.
It's like the heaviest like breakdown on the record that's just playing off of the reggaeton thing, but just harder and just heavier. Clever. And like it's so smart.
Yeah.
I have a question. When did you sort of like, this is purely for me and your sake, but like when did this album, like when was the first time you listened to it and you were like, whoa, like how long ago was it?
I was in the studio recording. I remember I was recording.
Because this came out a year ago.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think I was recording Dead Shows.
Right. Okay.
Who are like a grunge band, like pretty heavy.
Yeah.
What do people say? They say it about themselves. They're like, not Soho. It'll come back to me. But anyway, it's like mini Soho kind of thing. But
gotcha.
They're like, have you heard the Turnstile record? And they played Holiday.
Yeah.
And it had that, it's a holiday, and that cool beat where he's like hitting like a trash can.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's some really interesting like instrumental choices.
Yeah, I'm like, that's really cool. That's really cool. And then that next morning I was at the gym or something before the studio. The gym owner comes up and there's not many people at the gym. He's like, man, you heard the new Turnstile? I'm like, last night someone saw it. He was like, man, I'll put it on. And the whole album played through while I was working out. And I was like,
cool.
Man, this is really cool. And then I got to sit down and have more proper listens to it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think for bands out there like listening to this or whatever, and I think with your music, it's like just don't be afraid to try things, and just if it's naturally something you enjoy doing, that will come through the music. And
that's a great way to put it. Yeah,
even think
like if anything, this feels like a representation of like the creativity of the band themselves. You know what I mean? Like it's a perfect encapsulation of like, oh, like we've got the like, you know, the talent, the drive, and like, you know, the just, I guess, the ambition to make something like really good, you know?
Yes.
And I think that's what it takes, you know?
It's so nice that it's like, it feels so accessible in like almost like a writing sense, where it's like, you know, they're not going like too crazy on the instruments or anything like that.
And they're not like, they're not screaming heaps.
No.
There's great melodies in a lot of the choruses. Like it is really good. Like, you know, for those of you that may be a bit more on the pop punk side of things, like I kind of was, there's heaps of great chorus melodies there to latch onto.
There's so much.
Heaps of energy for the moshes.
Like it's all there. It feels so like accessible, especially like for anyone that has like the slightest background or interest in like, you know, like I guess like the older like sort of punk and emo sort of stuff. Like if there's any interest in that, then it's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to enjoy this, because it's so like it builds off of that like to something completely different, but still has that, again, foundation. You know what I mean?
I think I liked it too. Like a good question, and maybe I'd like to ask you it is, someone once asked me, it's like, all right, what gives you your biggest buzz from music? So some people it's lyric relation, some it's melody, some it's the beat, whatever it is. For growing up, for me, being more into, you know, punk and you know, especially like, you know, pop punk and skate punk, I like energy a lot.
Yeah.
So when usually what gets, lack of a better word, gets me off the most musically is usually more a beat and a high energy delivery.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I love this record.
Because it's just so incredibly full of energy.
Yes.
Yeah, and like what you said before, it's like, you know, like if you are enjoying what you're making, then it's going to translate.
Yep.
I think that is so incredibly true when it comes to this album, because you can just feel how much fun they're having with
Yeah.
this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just translates to me, like, especially like I'm listening to this, I'm like, wow, this sounds like it just would have been so much fun to make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's
It's
the
fun
kinda-
to listen to.
Be
for
fun. It
sure.
would have been fun to.
Yeah. I think
be
for
in that
me,
session.
I don't want to be like that guy. He's like, I listen to so much music. Like,
You do. You definitely do.
I do actively like try to listen to as much music as I can,
Yeah.
and like lots of different music.
An album a day.
So I don't think I'm doing album day challenges here. It's
Nice.
hell. No, I'm joking.
I listened to the same album about 10 days in a row.
Oh yeah, baby. Speak my
But
language.
for me, like obviously, I feel like it's really different depending what I'm listening to.
Mhm.
Like if I'm listening to like a rap artist, for example,
yeah.
like I think the first thing I want to stand out to me is just like a crazy good flow. You know,
Yeah.
that's like as soon as I hear like a good flow, it's like I'm interested,
Yeah.
and then like the lyrics come and the beats come after that and stuff like that. But like when it comes to like folk music, it's like I want to listen to what they're saying. So like the lyricism for me is what sticks out the most when it comes to like that style. And I think that's just the fun of it is when you get albums like this where it's like I don't know what it is that's like stuck out to me, but like I love it all. Like I think for this one, shockingly, like going into it, I didn't really know what to expect. But like as soon as I heard like the first like that riff of what do you call it, Blackout?
Oh, yeah.
I
think
was
that's
like,
the second track.
oh my god, this
Yeah.
is about to blow me away.
Yeah.
Like it's such a sick riff. It's
Yeah.
probably like I don't want to say it's either that or Holiday is probably my favorite,
Yeah,
or
Holidays.
Alien Love Core.
That's a weird one.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a pretty big Blood Orange fan, so I was like, as soon as I saw that he was on a few, I was like, let's go.
It's it's such a like it's so interesting what they do with it. I don't know if it was intentional, but for me anyway, it was like mystery. It was like okay, and then
Such a cool intro, like
Yeah, of
because
course.
it didn't give too much away, and then
No.
like
And
that's
then
why
Blackout,
it
yeah.
impacted me so much when I heard Blackout because I was like, whoa,
And
what?
then
I didn't expect
Blackout
that.
gives you like so much more and like really sets the direction. And then by the time Don't Play is up, you're like, I understand now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they work up to like the I guess the most symbolic song like in the of the three, like that's Don't Play is like the one that's like this is everything this album's going to be sort of
Yes.
thing, you know what I mean?
And
Like
then the last track on the record, they actually like duck back into a vocal melody
Yeah.
that's from
Yes,
the first
yes.
track.
So cool.
I noticed
Yeah.
that
Love that.
in the
Clever.
shower today.
Clever little thing. Yeah.
yeah. It's oh god.
And it's only 35 minutes long,
And
which
it's 15 songs. It's beautiful.
it's just like
fresh.
It's nothing more that I like. There's like a good amount of songs, like 12, 15, but it's like not like just heaps long. You know?
Yeah. A
I
lot
think-
a lot of the great, like I grew up obviously early 2000s where like, Blink or Offspring, Sum 41.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those pop punk records were like, 25 to 35 minutes.
It's just
tops.
over, yeah.
Yeah. And you're
16 songs.
like, all right, let's go again. Yeah. Put it in your Walkman and walk around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite examples of that is the Otoboke Beaver one. Which they're like a Japanese punk band.
I was about to say, I've never heard of those. And I'm like, should I have?
We'll definitely show you some after.
Yeah, we'll show you
because
some Otoboke Baby,
they're
for
just
sure.
insane. It's like, I think their latest album was like 21 minutes long, but it was like 25 tracks or something like that. And it's just
It's
like,
so good.
they'll have like, this 15-second song and then like a minute and a half, and it's just like so fun.
It's very great.
That's
it's
sick.
Good. It's good. It's good.
But yeah, great album. What would you say is probably your favorite song of it? I guess we'll ask Diego as well. 'cause-
Yeah, I think I thought Don't Play was really damn cool. And Underwater Boy. Just,
Yeah.
Underwater
it's
Boy is so cool.
really cool melody. And I love, like, if you listen to it, for anyone listening, if you want to listen to that song, when it's going, it's like, there's this really simple beat and there's this percussion loop under it, just doing this, like this dark, filtered,
Cool. Absolutely.
distorted tape, like tambourine thing.
Sure.
And it just gives you this flow and momentum. But yeah, it's got like this really like pitchy, vibrolo-y guitar going on. And yeah, the vocal melodies are great. The vocal melodies in that could have been out of a Post Malone track.
Yeah.
And he loves
I was gonna
them.
mention. Yeah, I was gonna mention. Have you seen that video of like Turnstile and Dua Lipa and Post Malone just all playing beer pong together?
Yes,
No.
that was only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was like pretty recent, and
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
everyone
insane.
was just like commenting on it, like saying like, "Isn't it so crazy to just see Turnstile just hanging out with like Post Malone and Dua Lipa?"
Yeah.
But like it's obvious to like me now that like it's because they like that kind of music.
Yeah.
Like
It's because
and
they have the ability to draw from that. So.
exactly they like identify a lot with these people, obviously.
I
So-
think, yeah, if you listen to Underwater Boy, like that, falling by the wayside, like that, you're just like, oh, Cool. That could be out of Post Malone.
Just make it like halftime and put like a real chill beat behind it.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
a Post Malone track.
Put some auto-tune over it and that's the post. Yeah.
So sick.
Make it sad.
What was yours, Diego?
Today, because it changes every time I listen to it, but today might have been Don't Play, I think.
Yep.
Again, like obviously Don't Play and Holiday are
Holiday is pretty hard to
Holiday's
love.
insane, but I think Don't Play today was the one where I was like,
Is Holiday like the most streamed one or?
Oh, it's a holiday.
Oh, it's actually Mystery is the most streamed.
yeah, Mystery, the first song. Which is honestly like Mystery is very up there for me
Yeah.
as well. Like,
Yeah.
because it's the one that sort of sets the scene like straight off the bat. Like today when I was listening to this, man, I was like, I was just enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
I was just enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like, but I think like Don't Play was the one where I was like,
Yeah, I think anyone listening that's kind of into alt rock, grunge, punk, even indie pop, like if you want to, if you're drawing influences
Absolutely.
for what's fresh right now, I think this record
makes so much sense that this is a guy that's worked with 21 Pilots.
Yeah,
It's sort of like,
Yes.
it's in that realm of like mixing shit up.
It was kind of
in a weird
inspiring
way.
for me as a producer too. When I researched this, I was just home one day mixing and was referencing a Turnstile track. I'm like, who did this fucking record? I checked it out and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And it just inspired me with like bands I'm working with. Like, what else do you like? Like, what excites you? Don't be afraid. Like, if you want to go for something, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do you think like after listening to this record and looking at this dude who is, you know, doing in the club and Slim Shady, like, and then doing this sort of stuff, do you think like do you think you might ever venture into doing, you know, just like whatever somebody comes forward with if you feel like it?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, fortunately, like I've got to, like even the other week, I went from doing a big hardcore album to like metalcore record, which I do a little bit of, into like a country thing.
Great.
But,
sick.
but the majority of the stuff I'm probably more like do is more your alt rock, indie rock, surf rocky thing. But I really like doing more like that. That's the stuff I love. But I love it when bands come in and they have references that's maybe a bit hip hop inspired,
Great.
or a bit like ambient, even like ambient dark kind of stuff. Like I love listening to lo-fi music when I'm studying or researching. So like doing like tape saturated lo-fi beats under a surf rock track.
Why not?
Like, you know, even like just finished up the Terry's record and they love hip hop. So without giving too much away, some of the new record has beats under real drums. So
awesome.
kind of working in that world, you know.
Fantastic.
Yeah, maybe into a bit of that darker hip hop lo-fi. Bit of lo-fi to surf rock I'd love to probably get into.
That's so sick.
Lo-fi surf rock coming to you soon.
Yes, if there's a band that loves lo-fi and surf rock hip hop stuff, hit me up. Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it. I'll make a band. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Because that needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. We're going to wrap this seggy up.
Oh, wow. Great chat.
Yeah, no,
Great record.
Good chat.
Great record.
Great record. Any last phrases, sentences, words about
Joss
the album?
likes that. Joss has strayed.
Buzzwords.
Joss has strayed from saying any last words about this album because it always makes our guests feel threatened.
Yeah, it always feels like I'm holding a gun and being like, any last words?
Last words about it. I think just don't listen to it thinking this is a hardcore band. Just appreciate it for what it is.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Go in with no
just listen.
expectations.
No expectations.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
You'll be blown away.
Hell yeah.
No matter what.
All right, let's let Jack play us
Oh
out.
yeah, let's let Jack play us out. Lick 14. This one's called. Bring it home.
Hey guys,
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Look,
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, is everyone thirsty?
Jack was just like, the drink.
Oh, yeah, I was like, oh,
No, remember we're doing
Monkey
like
see.
things into like the segments now, and that was it. That we're gonna do that every time.
Let's
No,
not.
exactly, we
We're
won't.
not going to do that. That's an awful idea. But what we are going to do for this segment is play
A classic,
an old favorite.
an old favorite,
There's
one
sort
that we
of a-
said.
there's-
Did we say it live on the podcast? Because it's gonna be really funny if we did. Did we say like we're not gonna play this game this season? But
I don't know
we
if we said
decided this would be too much fun.
sick.
So this is
Play the song.
it's like hard to know what to say before you go into the song.
Yeah.
Like
Spotify get the Spotify get the Spotify get the Spotify get the Supreme Chord Up Music.
Dun
Welcome.
dun.
I love that.
Chorus Noun Session.
Chorus
game.
Noun Session. Yeah, if you didn't know how the Spotify game is played, basically we pick a playlist, a universal playlist. Today we
Fantastic playlist for that, Joss.
Thank you. There's a playlist by a guy called Joss Taylor. I don't know who that is.
It's
but,
28 likes.
It's so
yeah,
good.
look, I
29
didn't
now.
actually realize 29 now. Let's go.
I love it. The first 4 songs, I was sold.
30, baby.
30, let's go. My 30th
Yes.
like over here. Wow, it really. Oh no, it updated when you liked it. Right, that makes sense. I was like, wow, it updated to 29 so quickly. But yeah, no. If you didn't know what it is, we picked this playlist. What we've gone with is one that I suggested because I was like, I've got this cool playlist of like
It's pretty cool.
one-hit wonder nostalgic music from like the 2000s, 90s. That's kind of all like a lot of it's Australian.
I got to stop looking at it. I'm loving this.
A lot of it's Australian, but like, yeah, I wanted to go for, it's called Ingrained in the Membrane. It's a bunch of songs that you remember. Well, the bio,
The description says that. I'll read it out to you.
the bio explains it perfectly.
I'm going to try to do it in like a audiobook sort of thing.
Do it at ASMR.
Vaguely nostalgic, yet hard to place tracks that you've seemingly never heard for the first time.
Yeah, so like the whole point of it was like, oh, I don't even remember when I heard this for the first time. I just know it. It's
Yeah.
ingrained in the membrane.
The membrane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. Anyway, that's a complete jerk off of myself. Now let's
done.
move on.
Now let's move on to jerking off these people.
So yeah, basically Jack has got it on his phone, Diego's got it on his phone. They're going to
Yeah.
hit shuffle. They're going to get 2 artists.
You ready?
And basically they have to pick which one they like the most.
Oh,
And I will be the judge if they get a tie round.
I got a cracker.
Okay,
Diego.
Jack's going to cracker. Let's get on to round 1.
You can go first.
I got Blister in the Sun by the Violent Femmes.
Okay.
I got the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, wow. With
What song?
Iris.
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 Yeah.
And now are we picking the song or is
So
it the band?
the song isn't too crucial. Like
the band.
Like I said,
Ah.
it's more the band. But like I
in
think
trouble.
a lot of these, like I said, I want to hit wonder tracks.
So, like, if your knowledge on them is based purely off of one song,
Then I think it's
then go to
fair
town
be
on that
like,
song.
yeah. So we got Blister in the Sun and Iris, Goo Goo Dolls, Violent Femmes. I know who I'd pick, but I'm going to keep my opinion to myself until you guys decide.
really hard one. It's quite hard.
It's just a difficult one.
Have you seen the live version of Goo Goo Dolls singing Iris? I think it was in
The one that's
Yeah.
like
It's
pouring
raining.
rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty.
I was heart throbbing.
Yeah, it is.
Hard to beat.
It's one of those situations.
Yeah,
Like,
This is a really hard one to start off.
it is.
Blister in the Sun is about masturbation.
Ah,
There you go.
Just so
Moving
everyone
on to-
knows. Thank you. It's about masturbation.
One more time for the people in the back. It's about
Masturbation.
That's
I
gonna
think
be a
I'm
good
going to go
clip.
with Violet Femmes.
You've swayed me.
Yeah, you've convinced me.
Ah.
Yeah, I think. Nah.
Are there any other Violent Femme songs that you like?
Not off the
know?
top of my head.
No, I'm the same.
So this is really Blister in the Sun
It's
versus Iris. at this
Iris,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which one do you like more? It's a kind of a hard matchup because it's like they're very different songs.
Entirely.
It's the Goo Goo Dolls for me.
Wow,
Wow.
he's going with Goo Goo
Yeah,
Dolls.
I
You
think
can
it's-
you can decide it
it's-
or you can tie it.
What were you going to say?
I just think it's kind of on that level of like a Wonderwall. It's like just everyone loves it. I know
So
it's
true.
annoying. But it's like, you know,
Yeah.
end of the night at the wedding. It's like, play Wonderwall, play Iris,
Yeah.
you know?
You could say the same about Blister in the Sun, though.
Yeah,
but,
true.
but it's like a different sort of crowd almost you could play. I don't know.
And the clap, like,
Yeah.
pretty
Classic.
iconic.
Yeah. Shit, that's hard. I think for the sake of not making this too hard for myself, I think I'm going to go with the Goo Goo Dolls so we can move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only reason why. It has nothing to do
Yeah,
with
Really
fair
good
enough.
start, though.
Yeah,
good
great start.
I would have gone Femmes, but you know whatever.
Well, your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But
Moving
it's
on.
completely relevant. All right.
Next song, I have Angus and Julia Stone.
Yep.
No, that's all right. Who do you
I
got?
was like, I
Oh.
have the Pixies, which is a massive one for me.
True.
I'm already picking Pixies.
Damn,
Damn.
I'm going to go with Angus and Julia
Oh,
Stone because
wow.
this album rocks.
It is a good album.
It's a great album.
So we got a tied vote.
Down the way. Angus and Julia
Pixies,
Stone, really good.
Pixies and Angus and Julie Stone. Yeah,
Come on, Joss.
a plug classic. This got plugged by Tiani in episode 3, season 1.
Nice.
I'm a
it
bit of a fountain of plug knowledge over here.
I just didn't know what episode she was, but yes.
Yep.
Yep.
It is a fantastic album. Pixies is good, but like
This record did get Rolling Stone top 500 of all time. Just saying.
yeah,
was
but,
the
you know,
Debaser in there as well?
Debaser is in
Yeah,
that one.
Debaser.
Yep. Doolittle.
Doolittle's like probably. Well, I've listened to what's that? It's called Surfer Rosa. I think that album is called that one that Where Is My Mind is on, right?
It is. I actually can't see it from this exact angle that I am currently sitting.
Just quote me because I know I'm right.
Yep.
It's called
Yep.
Surfer Rosa.
You are right, Joss. That is what I'm reading.
I've listened to that one. I've listened to Doolittle.
Yeah.
And I've only listened to this album by English. I think I have to go with Pixies. I know, blasphemous, but
Oh yes, of course. The
Two
rule,
huge names.
The rule is as well that
I forgot about
whoever loses the vote now is considered objectively bad.
forever.
Okay, and has worse music taste.
Yeah,
and knows less.
So now Angus and Julie Stone
objectively bad.
objectively
Okay,
bad,
Across the
confirmed.
board, they're just make bad music.
I liked them 10 seconds ago, but now that we've decided,
Rubbish.
rubbish, yeah.
Pure rubbish.
Okay, I'll never work with anyone that references Angus and Julie Stone. All right, ready? Thirsty Merc.
Oh, I got Crowded House.
Oh, that is a toughie.
No, it's
That's
not.
not. Crowded House.
I got Crowded House
Crowded
also.
House.
Well, we'll not deliberate what I was going to say.
You and I look straight at each
Shall we
other.
move on?
Why is that such an obvious one?
I think Crowded House.
Crowded House are good?
Because they're
It's just Crowded House.
they're just better. I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
And now Thirsty Merc are objectively bad. So
Yeah, what's changed?
sorry.
No, I'm joking. Thirsty Merc fans in the house.
Yeah.
No, I probably would have
they're
got
bad.
Crowded
They
House
suck.
as well.
Yeah, Crowded
eventually.
House. Definitely Crowded House. Okay.
Oh, wow. Nice.
First album I ever bought was Americana by The Offspring. I just got The Offspring.
Oh,
So
versus.
it's going to be a big one for me to beat that.
Okay. This artist, I know only the song. It's Butterfly by Crazy Town.
Oh, cool song.
I'm going to go with The Offspring though.
It's got to be The Offspring.
Yeah, it's gotta be The Offspring.
They're just
Not that my
I
opinion matters.
literally checked that record yesterday with an artist. We looked at that album. That song has, I think, 295 million streams. You can quote me on this. I'm pretty sure it's that.
Jesus.
The next highest on that record's like 6 million.
Wow.
So one hit wonder.
Yeah.
it feels
Offspring.
feels
I
real
wonder
like that way.
if the rest of the albums anywhere near the same quality.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore because they're objectively bad. You don't have to pay attention
Objectively
to them.
bad, Crazy Town.
Done,
Move
done.
on.
Ooh.
Sorry, this is what Diego got.
What'd you get?
I got Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
I got the Screaming Jets. Mm.
I know my answer.
Both, to be fair, bands I should know more about than I do.
Gotcha.
But I think actually, from my experience in the studio, I get a lot of Nick Cave as a big reference
That's
more
good.
than Screaming Jets now.
Good
So
to know that the people in the studio have got it switched on.
Yeah, I might go Nick Cave.
I'm also going to go Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Yeah. Yeah.
What is it?
Not
Is
much
it
to say
the
about
Screaming Jets song I know is like the get anywhere. Is that the Screaming Jets or am I crazy?
You don't care, just have it. You know,
It's probably that
better.
song, right? Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
There. That's the only song,
song,
I know
though.
by them. Whereas, yeah, Nick Cave.
I don't know mine.
You can skip
It's
it.
alright. You can skip if you want.
I can skip it. Oh, I do know this one.
I got Stone Temple Pilots.
I got The Fray.
Oh.
Mm.
That's an interesting one.
So we got Plush versus How to Save a Life, right?
No, Frey have another song, maybe.
Over my
Do
head.
they?
Oh yeah, of course. The A Day to Remember song.
Mm.
Just kidding, guys.
What?
You know I can't remember it's like Pop Goes Punk or something like that.
Oh, yes. Yes.
They do a cover of Over My Head.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they did Since You've Been Gone.
I think they've done both.
That'll explain it.
It's called like Cable Car or something.
I think
isn't
I'm
it?
gonna.
Over My Head, Cable Car.
Yeah, Cable Car. Okay, no, I vote for Cable Car in that case. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on that as well, The Fray.
Wow, you
Yeah.
guys are agreeing on everything.
Yeah, we need to fight.
Yeah, go on, skip until we get one. We
need to
You guys got
fight.
to kill each other.
I got Green Spoon. Let's rapid spot fire until we disagree.
Oh, okay, I got something for Kate.
Ooh.
This record was one done at the Grove, actually. Ecolalia.
Wow.
But Grinspoon, one of their first records, Easy, was a big one for me. So
Yeah.
I'm on Grinspoon.
I also go for Green Spoon.
Lost Control. Is that the one that's like din 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 din? din?
I got Regurgitator.
I got Spiderbait.
Oh, that's a cool combo.
Yes, man. Fuck.
Regurgitator is so cool.
Yeah, Regurgitator.
Best
is
drummer I've
cool.
ever seen in the studio is Pete Lustier.
Yeah.
Regurgitator.
Oh,
After
sick.
Diego from the Shank. Yeah, Pete Lustier.
Nice.
For sure.
Good plug.
But Spiderbait for me.
Yeah, Spider-Bait for me too.
God damn it.
Wow, guys, disagree for
I
once.
don't know these people.
Oh, I got Savage Garden.
Let me go.
Pretty big.
I got Primus.
Okay.
Primus or Savage Garden? What even is the Savage Garden
I'm
song?
on
I
Savage
got
Garden.
Truly Madly Deep.
Yeah, I'm
Savage.
Savage Garden.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Not Primus?
God damn it.
Jerry was a race car driver?
Yeah, but
I would be disagreeing with some of y'all. Oh, but you skip.
I don't. I'm not recognizing. Okay. We already got this. No, we didn't. No, we
I got
didn't.
Fat Boy Slim.
Oh,
I got Weezer.
God, that's a hard one.
That is
but
a difficult one.
I'm a big Weezer fan.
Damn it!
Wow.
God damn it!
God damn.
Next.
This is why we work well together,
Y'all
Diego.
did Fat Boy dirty.
Weezer,
I
bro.
know.
But like it's Weezer.
I used
Like,
to try and
but
hold my breath
80% of
for
their
as long as
discography
that.
sucks.
Yeah, but the 20%,
top.
Joss.
I would happily say 100% of Fatboy Slim's, even though I've not listened to 100% of his discography. I'd say 100% of it slaps.
Yeah, but now it's 100% of it is objectively bad.
Shit,
so
Yeah,
it
true, so
sucks.
true.
tough titty.
Tough
Goddamn,
titty.
Fatboy sucks.
Who you got?
Cypress Hill.
I got. Ooh,
Who you got?
this is an interesting one. I got Bowling for Soup.
You got the song that the
Bowling for Soup, man. Hangover You Don't Deserve. One of the best pop punk records.
it's the song that the playlist was named after, right?
Yes.
Cypress Hill, Insane in the Brain. Nice.
Shit, this is a tough one.
She's the girl of the bad guys.
Do you want to take this one, Joss? I don't think I can decide.
You can't decide on Bowling for Soup or Cypress Hill.
I'm Bowling for Soup.
I'd go
Very
Bowling for
strong.
Soup.
I know you would. Yeah.
I
Bowling
love
for Soup.
1985. It's such a track. I know every
You know they
word
didn't
to
write
it.
that, by the way.
Wow.
SR71 did.
I'm voting for Cypress Hill.
They did a great cover though, and they've still got heaps of other great originals.
Of course, yeah. Of
But
course.
yeah, Bowling for Soup.
and
Nothing-
the Phineas and Ferb theme song.
Can't beat it.
Ah,
If you didn't know that. Yeah.
did not know that.
There's 104 days of summer vacation.
Okay, here's one that hits home for me.
I don't know these. Oh yes, I got one. Yep, I got one that touches home for me too. Oh shit, I said the wrong thing. Yep, go.
I said I got Third Eye Blind.
I got Divinals.
I go with Divinals.
Me too. I gave it away. I was like, I touched myself. I was
is
reading
so,
it as I
like,
said it.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I love this song.
I could have a day off as a judge.
Yeah, like
Life's easy for me.
Jack and I have been just agreeing about artists that we like for the past 12 minutes.
So everything. Yes.
Sucks to be Third Eye Blind, but that song slaps.
Yeah, it does, but like Divinals,
Do do
everything
do.
sort of. Okay,
Do do do.
No,
do.
Counting Crows.
I got Soundgarden.
Shit.
Counting.
I'm going to go Counting Crows, and I think you might not. Oh, it's pretty tricky.
That's a tough one. I think I'm not in the mindset to make decisions like this right now.
Sorry,
But, like,
mate. that's
Counting-
just how the
Counting
game's
Crows,
played.
you know.
have to.
Counting Crows on Shrek soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm looking at Shrek.
Soundgarden not on Shrek soundtrack.
So true.
So basically, do you hate the Shrek film or not? Is the Shrek film
Yeah.
objectively
Oh no!
Would you
Is
vote
that
against
what-
Shrek? Would you?
No.
shit? No. Are we green again? Go on.
And moving on.
Do you want to try, Josh?
If I get the same artist, do
No,
I just
it's
skip?
all right. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'll give you till 15 minutes on this timer, and if you still haven't agreed with or disagreed,
This Leaving Home by Jebediah, that Slightly Odd Way album is one of my favorite
Oh,
records
that's
of all
okay. I
time.
got-
that is a good rating.
I got-
Harpoon.
Bernard Fanning.
Yeah,
Bernie.
I'm definitely 100% Jebediah.
I think I might go Fanning.
Yes. I mean, what? Are you crazy?
Can you believe that? Wow.
One of the highest Triple J Hottest 100 featurists.
That makes
Maybe
sense.
the highest.
That
Can't
very
remember.
well.
Jebediah. They have. What's the song you just said before?
They got Leaving Home, Harpoon.
Harpoon is such a track.
Beautiful song, one of my favorites. She's Like a Comet was a bit later, but a big one.
Yeah,
as well.
I've just listened to that album
Hey,
before.
but
It's-
guys, wish you well.
Yeah.
Bernard Fanning. Look,
Yeah, I know.
I don't know any Bernard Fanning besides that song, and besides
Wish you well, bro.
besides Powderfinger. And like, I mean, this might be the hottest take of them all, but I'd still probably go Jebediah over
Yeah.
Powderfinger.
Fair
The
enough.
singer of Jebediah, too, fun fact, is Bob Evans.
Oh, cool.
You know that, don't you think it's time? That's his side project where he basically doesn't sing like he does in Jebediah.
Okay,
Maybe,
sure.
maybe I do know that. I don't know. I'll have to research.
Fun fact.
Finally, Jesus.
Yeah, Bernard
Christ.
Fanning sucks.
Oh,
Confirmed.
Subjectively bad.
I got a great one. I feel like if you don't go mine, it's just not right.
I'll go with it, surely.
I got Paul Kelly. Dumb things.
Should I? I don't think I should.
It's a great
I don't think I should.
playlist.
I don't think I should bother.
Just go.
You
for
got to
it.
say
I
it.
got Semisonic. They do closing time.
Closing time.
That's it. That's all.
Oh
they
my
do.
god, the
Yeah,
Song
Paul-
Exploder episode on closing time.
Apparently, that song is about giving birth.
Yes, it is.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
All about his son's birth, and
Yeah.
the song was released the day he was born, or something like that. I think.
I did not know that.
And
That's
like
really
he was
nice.
in the ambulance, I'm pretty sure, and it came on the radio.
and the guy knew
Oh,
was
you're
just like,
kidding.
yeah,
Oh,
and he's
this is a
like, this is
good
about
song.
this is about my son that's being born.
Yeah.
Right now.
See my wife in excruciating pain.
Hey, but check out this track.
But yeah, because there's a really good Song Exploder episode. If people have ever heard that podcast,
Song Exploder?
slash Netflix show now, I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
Wow, that's
Ah.
awesome.
Where he just interviews bands about like their biggest song, and he
Yep.
did one on Semisonic, and it was such a good episode. He talks all about how like they basically had to make this album, otherwise they weren't really going to get the break that they needed to.
Yep.
But like his wife was in like like hospital, having this kid, having heaps of issues with it. So it was like for like, you know, months he was just like
In and out.
like he would either be at the studio or to be at the hospital, like with his wife.
Shit.
And he was like, it was like the most exhausting period of my life, but we like got through it and it like worked out really well for us. So,
The
like,
song went really well, and their baby
The rest
boy
is history,
was
yeah.
So did we
completely
go?
healthy.
So we did we go semi-sonic or did we go?
We went.
Who do I have? I
You-
bloody just skipped. I'm on my next.
it was
song.
Paul Kelly.
Paul Kelly.
Yeah,
But I think you guys
yeah.
decided Paul Kelly.
Yeah, Paul Kelly. Semisonic. Sorry, I'm sure your son's great. Whatever.
But he's
I got.
Okay.
What do you got? I got Papa Roach.
I got Killing Heidi.
Oh, I love Killing Heidi.
Okay. This is
Got
the
Papa
thing.
Roach though.
This is the thing. I don't like Papa Roach that much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who does? No offense to Papa Roach.
Jack,
But
I
still, one of the most you
yeah,
recognize when
yeah,
you're
absolutely.
my last resort. Yeah, I'm gonna go Papa Roach.
Oh, awesome.
I changed. I'm sorry, Killing.
Oh, no.
So I'm sorry, Heidi. I killed you. Boom.
Last Resort's pretty good.
What's it?
I don't know if I love it that much, but I think I
don't even know that much Papa Roach, to be
No,
honest.
neither do I. But I don't know that much Killing Heidi either.
They got Last Resort and Last Resort Reloaded. What? So okay.
Oh, Between Angels and Insects, bro. that was a pretty crazy song.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go
Whoops, I didn't mean to play it.
with. I know I said I don't like it very much, but Papa Roach. Just because Last Resort is sort of like a.
Yeah, I don't
it's
even
one of
know.
those. You know what I mean?
I don't even know if I
It's
know
just
a
one
Killing
of those.
Heidi song.
Here we go.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Well, that's also a good one.
I got the Verve.
I got Green Day.
That's a toughie. I mean, I feel like
Bittersweet Symphony is a great song,
It
but
is.
Green Day's for me is very hard to. Just what they did
Right.
to
Not
a
what they
whole
do anymore.
genre.
not so much what they do anymore.
Yeah, American Idiot was to me a pinnacle, and everything before was fantastic. Even they're still doing great stuff like 21 Guns and stuff. But
I do just want to say, like, PSA, the what do you call it? Debut album by The Verve,
The Verve.
Storm in Heaven.
Mm.
Incredible.
I
Incredible
haven't heard it.
shoegaze album.
Great.
Go listen to it. It's very like dream poppy shoegazy.
Oh God, I've listened to so much more Green Day than I have the Verve.
Yeah, the Green Day.
I love that album, but
The
I'd
Green
still
Day.
go Green Day in a
Green
heartbeat.
Day.
I guess
Especially When I Come Around,
Especially,
Dookie
yeah,
era.
especially
Like
Dookie,
that's where
like-
it's just-
Nimrod and Dookie's
Yeah.
pretty special.
Insomniac fan over here. Any Insomniac enjoys in the room? Love it.
Nice.
All
Yeah,
right.
Green Day.
Cool. All right. Agreed
Still
again.
agreeing.
Still agreeing.
Come on, let's
Still
All right, we've got a
agreeing.
few more minutes. Disagree for once in your lives.
Matchbox 20.
Hilltop Hoods.
Ooh.
Wow, they're like the two
Polar opposite.
Yeah, but like they're like
Both
within their
really
genres,
respectful
the
and
exact same
good.
band in a way.
Matchbox for me.
Probably Hilltop.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get fucking dragged for that, but yeah,
Yeah.
probably Hilltop. I don't
Okay.
know. I think like Matchbox 20 just never sort of stuck the way they did with other people. I obviously, I love Rob. I do.
Yep.
I love him to bits. But I think Hilltop Hoods. I think as like I remember Hilltop Hoods was like the first ever like concert that I was like, Mum, can I go to this concert?
That's cool.
And I knew like 2 songs, but I was like, Mum, please. I didn't go because I
Were
just
you in the
forgot.
nosebleed section?
No, I didn't go.
Never mind.
So I guess I was far away enough. So who
Oh, high
knows?
five.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one, Josh.
So yeah, Hilltop Hoods for me. Like I said, Matchbox 20 never really
Yep.
stuck the way they did for other people.
Okay,
Yeah.
Josh, what's objectively
All right. I'm
better?
going to take you guys on a journey here. I
Go on,
infamously have never really loved Australian hip hop that
That's
much.
facts. That's facts.
In the past. But like I've recently started to come around to it a lot more. I've been really getting into some like classics. Like not actually I shouldn't say classics, they're very much not classics. They're like up and comers. Like JK47's
To be
really
classics.
cool.
To be classics.
Busty. More on that later. Who's some other that come to my brain? But yeah, like I don't want to spend heaps of time on this, but like yeah, I think like artists like that have really like rejuvenated my love for like Seth Entry. Sorry, just remember.
Yep.
But I feel like Hilltop Hoods was always the exception to that rule of like me being
Something
like,
you still
I don't
loved.
love Aussie hip hop that much. I feel
like,
like
you can
Hilltop
enjoy
Hoods
it,
was like one of the ones that I was like, but this guy he can go. Like,
And they do that really cool
They get a
stuff
pass.
too, like with the symphonies and
So sick.
And I know they saved the day on a big festival where someone couldn't.
Falls?
Was it a Falls? And like last minute they
It was,
wrangled in hard
was it
and
Tyler that pulled out? Or no. I remember because I saw a Facebook status that I made about it. It was Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper had to pull out.
and,
Upgrades, people,
a couple
upgrades.
days before they had to wrangle in a whole set
Yeah.
to like headline Falls or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So by all accounts, apparently they're awesome.
I made a Facebook
Awesome
status
people.
that said Chance the Rapper heard that Hilltop Hoods would be replacing him, so he made this selfless decision to dip.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, if we're talking like, pre
I've lost.
what's it called? The big day, Chance the Rapper, it would be a different
did
story.
you make a decision?
I think
Hilltop
he's gone
Hoods.
Hoods.
Wow.
Yeah. I lost. Okay.
I was not.
Matchbox 20 and
I know one Matchbox
Thomas
20
is
song.
objectively
Like,
shit.
I
Objectively-
literally have
well,
nothing to say about
They're
Matchbox 20.
objectively shit, dude. So who cares?
Except for, was it How Far I've Come? And
Did I say this one already?
no,
don't think
I
did.
used it as an example before. This can be the last one because...
All right,
Well, I got-
the last one.
I got Tal Bachman. She's so high.
Okay, I got 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah. More runs on the board there. 9 Inch Nails.
I think I'm gonna have to go with 9 Inch Nails as well. I think like it's interesting because I didn't actually really look into Trent.
Trent. William Trent
like-
feels so wrong. I don't know why.
To
but
Trent, I didn't really look into him like until this year sometime, and now that I have, I'm like, what a guy.
I think there's someone I still need to get into even more, but just on a
Yeah.
respect level.
Yeah,
How many
absolutely.
people I enjoy their music and they're like, oh, I love
This guy.
Yeah,
9
I
Inch
only
Nails.
listened
I'm like,
to
okay.
Downward Spiral earlier in the year for the first
Yeah.
time.
Same.
And it's such a good album. It's so it's a scary album, I feel.
It's cool, man.
It's really
very,
cool.
very
It's
cool.
very
And he was
interesting
sort of like
production and
he was sort
soundscapes
of like
and
one of the first people to do it.
I guess so, yeah. Like it's very noisy and just like abrasive and everything.
It's great.
All right, let's
Yeah,
go
so-
one more.
So also Tal Bachman, She's So High, 233 million streams. Next highest song, 491,000.
Wow,
So
that's a drastic drop.
that's a
Jesus.
one hit. Okay. One more?
Yeah, I don't want to do them.
Oh,
Pick a really good one.
Beastie Boys.
The Living End.
Oh, you should. I mean, Beastie Boys are so damn important.
So
but
true.
personally, if we're only going personally, Living in their first 2 or 3 records, the self-titled Roll On and I think White Noise,
Yeah.
so good. So personally, I have to go Living In.
I think like
So many people hate me for that.
I think as an Australian, it's
that's
entirely
true.
respectable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I might even go.
I know what I'm going to listen to on the train.
You know, when,
Realize.
you know in your heart what's true.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the Beastie Boys.
It's
I'm like the emperor over here. Like, pick the Beastie Boys.
It's I think I'm gonna go with The Living End.
I love them.
I do. Like I really do.
Phenomenal.
And like
I'm the real loser here.
And
I
I
guess.
remember like there was a time when I was like Living End, who cares, whatever. And then I think they played like the AFL Grand Final or something like
They
that.
did.
And
They
I was
did
like
do.
watching them like do it live. I wasn't there, but I was just watching it on TV, and I was like, these guys fucking rock.
They do.
Yeah.
Prisoner of Society is like
Of course.
a track.
That's
Yeah.
the opening track on their first album.
Yeah.
What a way to start it off, All right, well,
Well, that was the most agreeable.
the most
Diego and I have just bonded even further. We already had.
welcome to the
Jeez.
Spotify game where we bond,
Yeah. A game of
playlist.
bonding.
and I'm over here kicking rocks like,
Come on, guys, tap me in. Okay.
That's all right.
It's all right, man. You can listen to The Living End instead of the Beastie Boys
Next
forever
Spotify
now.
game, I'm getting tagged in. I
Yeah,
don't give a
okay,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I liked that.
I'm
a lot.
purposely gonna disagree with everything the guest said.
Yeah, just let them go first all the time. Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I was like, I want to get Jack's thoughts, and then as soon as you said, I was like, yeah, no,
I agree.
Yeah.
no, I just agree.
was fun.
Thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Thanks,
the
guys.
Plug
That was
Podcast.
sick.
Thank you
I really
so
enjoyed that
much.
and love what you're doing.
No, that's
so
all right.
good.
We appreciate you coming on, talking about all things that you're doing.
Thank you.
Where can everybody find you on the social media?
Yeah, so social
important.
media is Jack Nigro Music.
Too easy.
I have a website that's Jack Nigro Music, and all the LinkedIn stuff to my show reel and all that stuff's there
Great.
too. So it's the best way to reach
Cannot
me.
wait. Cannot bloody wait for the studio.
If
to be
you want to
Thanks,
make
man. I'm
a
super
lo-fi
pumped.
surf rock album, you know who to call.
yeah,
Please.
that's right. I think when it is built, I'm not going to go to record any music. I'm just going to go there and look at it. For
Totally. You come
Yeah.
up, there's going to be accommodation.
Yeah,
we'll have
just-
a beer and hang out and play some drums. It'll
Sounds
be sick.
great. Sounds great. Well,
All right.
it's been a blast.
Thanks for having me.
See you, plug
We're not actually. Jack doesn't take us out. On
Yeah,
this
no.
one.
So
Yeah.
we look at the cameras and we say, "Oh wait, no. Remember what we were gonna do? I had this idea.
Okay.
Have you got the end music on here?
Yeah.
Can you just get that up? We don't have to keep this like in the the OG take. Or whatever,
Okay. Sure.
But we're gonna dance.
Do we get up and dance?
Yeah.
So we keep the headphones on, but get up and dance.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Is
right?
that guest included?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crap.
Okay, I've got it here.
All right, we're doing it.
Start rolling the credits.
Thank you to everybody for listening to this latest episode of the Plug Podcast featuring the one and only Jack Nigro. And look at us dancing if you're on the YouTube. It's pretty exciting, isn't it? We're getting down with it. Anyway, thanks to Jack for coming on, talking all about all the stuff he's been up to recently, and plugging that really good album by Turnstile, Glow On. Fantastic. You should go check it out. Thanks to ProPodcast Productions for giving us this awesome studio to record the potty in. Go follow them on Insta at ProPodcast Production. And go follow us on Instagram as well at itstheplug._. TikTok's at plugtalk with an _ and a 0. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and join the Facebook group as well and stuff like that. It's pretty cool and stuff. And join the Patreon if you want to support us even further. Go that extra mile. And you can listen to the post show. It's pretty exciting. Anyway, next week, we have the amazing Sarah Yagke coming on to talk all about her stuff. So look forward to that, guys. See ya.